Hey everyone, Reggie here. It's my first sort of podcast, I suppose you'd call this, kind of a YouTube podcast. I'm not really on a radio station or anything like that. But this is basically me talking and pretty much just whinging about life in general and more specific things thereof. So I'm going to start off by just talking about the iPhone. Now, this shits me off because we're supposed to be advancing in technology. Yet, for all the iPhone's magical sort of advancements and whatever, the glass still breaks when you drop it. Now, this is just totally fucked. It shits me off. I had an iPhone for a little bit. I dropped it. It broke, obviously. And it shits me off. Because, I used to have a Nokia back in the day, when I was a bit younger, about 10 years ago. Those solid Nokia 3315s or whatever they were. And you just used to, I'd play cricket with it. Just hit it around the park a bit. And I'd still be able to make a phone call, I'd still be able to do whatever with it. It probably still works. It's probably in some dumpster somewhere or something. Just ready to be used. That's why I love the Nokia. That was great times. But yeah, now we've got this iPhone 5, and it's like you can't even go more than 2 days without using a charger. It's like, why have this magical advancement in technology if you can't even take it anywhere that doesn't have electricity? It's supposed to be a mobile phone, surely? A mobile phone, i.e. can move places, not restricted by anything except, you gotta have electricity, an iPhone charger, and a PowerPoint. Anyway, that's what I'm going to start with, mainly just because it needed to be said, I think. It really did need to be said. Moving on, I'm going to start something perhaps more serious that I read. This is in the February 9th edition of the Weekend Australian, 2013 this is. And the headline starts with Brennan taken to task on drones. Now this is of course the head of the CIA, Mr. Brennan, and it's not particularly about him that I'm too concerned with. It's more this section that I'm going to read to you here. Mr. Obama bowed to pressure from politicians and handed over a classified memo outlining the legal justification, for killing Americans abroad if they were suspected of plotting with Al-Qaeda. The secret memo was used as the legal basis for a controversial September 2011 drone attack in Yemen that killed the extremist cleric Anwar al-Awwal. Sorry, I'm not even going to have a go at that name, sorry. I'm not very good with it. And Samir Khan. The missile strike, and this is the most damning part of this little section, the missile strike was controversial because al-Awlaki and Khan were US citizens who had never been charged with a crime. Now, I don't know about you, but I think with all the crazy shit I Google and, all the stuff I look up on YouTube and stuff, I think I could easily be accused of being a terrorist myself, having never been charged with a crime either. So apparently, that's alright. That's fine by the US government. And that's, if it's fine by the US government, then I'm sure it's all good. Anyway, I'm going to move on and talk about this common phrase that we're sort of dealing with at the moment. There's a lot of common phrases that don't really mean anything, and this is one. Advance peace. Now this is a term used by mostly Western worlds as they try and come up with an excuse for invading other countries and involving themselves with internal politics. They advance peace. How? How can you advance peace? Peace is not something that you can kind of just force upon people. You can't just advance it. You can't just say, here, have some peace, eat that up. That's good for you. You grow up big and strong. And then maybe you'll join the army and become a peacekeeper. Have you noticed how soldiers aren't soldiers anymore? They're peacekeepers. Which, it's kind of insulting, really, to my... I wouldn't say it's insulting is the right word, but it's just kind of like... You're not a peacekeeper if you're in someone else's country killing the inhabitants. Anyway, that's my point. I'm just kind of musing. I don't really have a script or anything. I just have some sort of notes, and I'm just kind of picking them and going, just rambling as I go along. So, the next one I'm going to go with is the Victorian Police Force, which was this big news explosion talking about, how all these current Victorian police officials are having, what they say is, I'm just trying to find the quote here. Sorry, I haven't written it down. But basically, what it is they're involved in illegal dealings with bikie gangs, Australian bikie gangs, of course. And I've started thinking about this some more. Why? Why would that, what profit would both of them have by linking up? Obviously the bikies get away with doing crimes, and I think the main crime that I think they'd get away with would be drug trafficking, surely. I mean, in Australia, I'm not sure how it is everywhere else, but Australia bikie gangs kind of rule the drug, I suppose you'd say the drug industry, and it's probably $1 million, if not billion-dollar industry in Australia, and it could potentially be $1 trillion worldwide industry. And so you can understand that having the police on their side would be somewhat helpful, considering that they are the people who are trying to stop the bikies. So it's basically fucked. Completely and utterly fucked. Especially, I'm going to admit I'm an illicit drug taker myself, and I don't really see much point in keeping it illegal if this is going on.